What's up, familia? I am the Uncanny Dayspring.
And I am the vengeance, Michael Ham. Just kidding. It's just me. It's just me, Michael Ham.
And we're here today with a really fun episode of Power of X-Men. A bit off topic, admittedly, but a very important topic.
It's not off topic if you grew up kind of queer in the late 80s or late 90s, early 2000s.
Okay, and that's obviously a reference to the Batman and Robin Joel Schumacher film, which
Oh,
McFarlane has just released an entire wave consisting of Poison Ivy, Batgirl, Robin, Batman, and it's a Build-A-Figure Mr. Freeze.
I cannot explain how excited I was when they announced this. It was Toy Fair, right?
Yeah, it
Oh,
was. It was so they announced it at Toy Fair. They did a live, and wait. No, it was not Toy Fair. It was San Diego Comic-Con, where the McFarlane panel, they just had one shot, and it's a blurry shot that just went on the internet, and like only a few accounts reported on it. And then at Toy Fair, they did a live, and then they had the fully packaged figures.
right. And Todd McFarlane was there, like showing them all off, and then they had that trailer where it was just like the bat nipple shots and the bat butt shots and like the fact that they're like leaning into the cheese of it all is what like made me so excited for these toys.
Were you a major, I mean, I know the answer, but for context and continuity for the audience, were you a major fan of Batman and Robin when it came out that summer?
When it came out that summer, yes. Then there was like a period of time where I felt shameful for enjoying Batman and Robin, and I think I kind of pretended like it was one of the worst Batman movies. And now I live in my full Batman and Robin bliss where it might be my second favorite Batman movie.
Oh wait, what's your first favorite Batman movie?
I'm a Batman Returns girl. I don't know.
Yes.
It's I know. It's stupid. It's like who's your favorite artist? It's Jim Lee. Like,
No.
but
I think these movies are very special if you grew up in that era, like you were talking about. And, the Batman Returns, first of all, Michelle Pfeiffer, iconic in that role, Danny DeVito as well. But I so distinctly remember being at the top of like my bunk bed and throwing myself off like in a sea of pillows saying saved by kitty litter. I mean, my bunk beds weren't that high because I was obsessed with Michelle Pfeiffer. Like I cannot. And similarly with Batman and Robin, I was such a gay boy from day one. I used to just quote Poison Ivy all the time. And that dance she does in the monkey suit. Oh,
oh, it was one of those movies that I think growing up, because I don't know if your audience knows, but you're a bit older than me. It was one of those.
I don't look it. That's because I have the beauty filter on. That's because I have the beauty
exactly,
filter
exactly. Four ring lights from every angle.
on.
Batman Returns, but especially, or Batman Returns was like kind of scarier and darker, and then Batman Forever came out, and you got into the comic bookness of it. But Batman and Robin was a comic book movie. If you turned a comic book into a movie, that's what it was. So I think it really resonated with like kids who saw it and they're like, this is amazing. It was, what is it, toyetic?
Yeah, it's very
Which,
toyetic. Yeah, it's such a fun term to even like use for it. But that's exactly why this movie was created the way it was, because it was supposed to be toyetic.
and how many years later we're getting more toys and it's still working? Like it's still toyetic.
That investment in this IP, I mean, bravo to DC. Yeah, it's weird. I saw this movie multiple times the summer it came out. I believe it was 1997. And I would go with my sister. We were staying on Sanibel Island. My parents used to have a house there. And we would spend the summers there. I went to the movie theater, Hammy, like every day to watch this movie. First of all, I was obsessed with Alicia Silverstone following Clueless and her epic thriller Crush. The Crush. Have you ever seen it?
Oh yeah.
I love that movie. And it was so scandalous because there's a scene where she's like masturbating to a picture of, is it Matt Dillon? It's Matt Dillon.
How old were you?
I must have been when this
Too
movie came,
young.
I was 13 when this movie came out. So when was The Crush? I think that was 1996
Oh my
off the top of
god.
my head. Yeah, I mean, listen, my parents, I had no supervision. I just went to Blockbuster and I was like, although I used to call it Blockbuster. Wait, let's see. The
Ooh la
Crush.
la. Yeah, in 1993.
A 1990. The Crush was 1993. Okay, so I watched it in 1996.
Okay.
That's I'm thinking of her other movie too, True Crime, which came out in 1996, and then The Crush came out in 1993. And the guy she's obsessed with there is some guy called Carrie Elwes or something like that. I don't know.
It's you.
Wait, what?
Oh, you're going to get shot. He's like the guy from The Princess Bride.
Oh, okay. I've never seen The Princess Bride.
He was Robin Hood in Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Oh, okay, that I have seen. Oh, really? Was he? Okay.
Oh, God, I love that. I love you.
Well, then I support her jerking off to him because I definitely jerked off to him in Robin Hood. So
another thing you and Alicia have in common.
I mean, we're like BFFs practically. But anyways, so this movie was a real turning point for me because I felt autonomy as a young teen going out to the movie theaters by myself, seeing it, starring my favorite actress, and then obviously I love Poison Ivy.
Yeah, I think as much as this movie is known for like the cheesy lines and all of that, like Uma Thurman brought it. So it reminded me of like Elizabeth Banks as Rita in the new Power Rangers movie, where she was the only one who was good. She just embraced the camp, and I feel like Uma Thurman was the only one who really got it. Who really like.
Did you understand the gay undertones and the camp as you were watching it as a little Hammy?
Not at all.
Same.
No.
I did not. I took this movie very face value, and like some of the lines obviously like don't leave home without it. You know, the American Express. I registered the joke, but I did not understand the campiness of it.
No, and now I love it. I love every part about it. It's the easiest to watch. Well, yeah, I think so.
It doesn't demand a lot from you as a viewer. You can just watch it, have it in the background, and I don't want to say there's not a lot of deeper meaning in it because I want to give Schumacher his dues. But I think his main strength is definitely that he used to be a costume designer, and the costumes in this are gorgeous. Whether you like the movie or not, he definitely knew what he was trying to accomplish with those costumes.
Yeah, I think it worked too. I think people can look at it whatever, but you're right. Like Schumacher deserves a lot of credit for this movie and all of the good things in the movie. I can tell it's one of those creative endeavors where I'm sure the studio twisted his arm a bit more than he would have liked, but he's campy, he's crazy. I love it. I'm here for it. And if we don't get more of these toys, I'm going to lose my mind.
I have theories on what we could possibly see in the future, but did you collect the original 5-inch figures that came out? Okay.
Of course I did.
What did you think when you went to the toy store? Do you have a Toys R Us? Did you have a Toys R Us growing up? Where did you grow up again? In the strange foreign land known as Canada?
Yes. We did have a Toys R Us. I don't know if we had one then. I remember always picking them up at like we had a Canadian version of Target basically called Zellers.
Mm-hmm.
And I would always go to Zellers to get all of my toys. And I just remember the ice skate one, and I remember you could get like the like henchmen's of Freeze and obviously Chris O'Donnell. And oh yes, what a stupid question.
Rank the Robins. So Chris O'Donnell, Burt Ward, and what's his name, Brenton Thwaites. I don't know from Titans.
Thwaites, I think.
Thwaites
is last. Bert is in the center and O'Donnell is number one. There's no question.
Mine is Bert, Brenton, and then Chris. So Chris is at the bottom of the list for me. He never did it for me. I know. Never. George Clooney did it for me, though. Daddy Clooney.
This actually explains a lot about you, actually. No, this actually makes a lot of sense. If anyone's tuned into our other podcast, they know what I'm talking about. But
the second Daddy Clooney took out his Bat American Express card, I was WAP. 13-year-old Paul was WAP.
Oh my god.
Okay, so you're obviously I know you're Nightwing and Robin cosplay, but this Chris O'Donnell Robin, you number one on your list. You liked his performance and everything. I think he was a good Robin, for the record.
Yeah, I think he did a good enough job in those movies. Was his performance great? Yeah, no, not really, but like his version of Robin was this like, I'm a hot shot, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm arrogant, and that Chris O'Donnell crushed that. If that's the way he interpreted the character, then he crushed it.
Yeah, and I didn't. So I watched Batman Forever a couple of years ago, and I was shocked to see that they had a lot of homages, that Schumacher put in a lot of homages to the the original 60s show. Like there was a scene where they getting on the island where Two Face and Riddler are at, and Robin says, "Holy, holes
What
here,
a
Batman," whatever he says. And I was like, "Oh, that was like their little Easter egg there." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I get that." And then obviously with a lot of him being captured and gagged, I mean, such a
that explains a lot about me.
but yeah, I thought he did a really good job, but obviously the big question mark in this movie that divides a lot of fans is George Clooney as Batman. And how did you feel about that?
I'm not going to say anything too contentious. He was fine. In retrospect, when I watched the movie, I actually love him. And when he appeared in The Flash, I was super excited to see him again. I wish he would get another shot, honestly. I think George Clooney, under the right director, could play an older Batman. Like he could play the Bruce Wayne in a Batman Beyond movie instead of getting Affleck back or something like that.
I agree with you on that. Like, I really do think that they should have. It's not that I didn't like Michael Keaton, but I would have been curious if they could have done George Clooney. I did not mind him when he was casted, and I remember at the time there was an interview where he was talking about how this Batman was going to be different. This wasn't going to be the Batman who's sulking that his parents are dead and that he's always miserable. I mean, obviously that's like a hallmark of the character, and that's why we love Batman as an IP. But I can definitely understand in the '90s where you've done already 3 movies where it's a bit more dark, darker Bruce Wayne, why you would want to move towards the Bat family and show a glimmer of hope for Bruce.
Wait, so we were talking about the original toys. Did you collect them?
Yes, I got all of them. And I have to tell you, I was so disappointed when I got the Batgirl figure. And do you want to know why? Because she did not have the long blonde hair. She just has the cowl, and that's it. And that's obviously based off of the original design, because we know I don't know what.
You're right. I remember that now
Yeah,
because it had the pointy ears and everything. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Wait, hang on. I forgot. I have visuals here. Let me share my screen
Oh
here.
my, you're so technologically advanced.
I'm
That's what I love
so
about you.
stupid. What are you talking about? Okay, can you see my screen?
Jesus, yes.
I know. Don't look. You're gonna see all my porn there.
Oh, listen,
God.
that poison ivy is also leaves very little to the imagination. Like that was a bad
Oh, that poison
toy.
ivy. So I've done some research on this because I was curious, why were these so far off from the, hang on, let me see if I can find it here. Boom. Why were these so far off from the originals, or what we saw in the movie? And it's because they did not have time to actually do the figures. They they just had to guess what they would look like. So poison ivy, I don't know where that design came from. I think they try to make it as generic as possible. But Batgirl, that was the original design for her. And and they obviously changed it later on in the production process. I love Alicia Silverstone in this role. My main grievance at the time, though, was definitely that she was Barbara Wilson and not Barbara Gordon.
Yeah, that rewatching it as an adult who enjoyed Batman, I didn't even remember that, and I was like, "Wait, what? What?
Yeah.
Why? What's the point? What are they? Why are they doing this?" And I don't know if it was a timeline reason or
I don't,
what. Well, look,
I feel like I read somewhere, I don't know what it was, but they wanted to focus on humanizing Alfred. I think that's what their goal was. And obviously they did that with I think it's called the McGregor's disease, which
yeah, when he was, yeah.
if you read the White Knight, the Sean Murphy Batman series, they actually do reference McGregor's disease or whatever it's called. You guys can correct us in the comments. But
No one is listening to a word we're saying because they're reading they're looking at everything you have on your desktop right now. I'm like, what's CEI script?
Oh my gosh. You can see my script. Yeah.
Paul, we can see everything.
Really? Oh my god, we're gonna have to cut this part. Damn it. Okay. We're just gonna overlay the image. Wow, I'm sorry. I love it. You're seeing my script for my gigs and stuff like that, and
Well,
my
we can't see what's
invoices,
written there. We're just seeing that
the
it says
documents.
they exist.
Okay, we're just gonna
Um,
overlay the
I
images.
love that. I love that energy.
But yeah, so I love the figures quite a bit. The Batgirl one I was very disappointed in. Poison Ivy didn't bother me as much, but because of how animated she was on the screen, I was disappointed with that. Robin could care less. Batman, I'm pretty sure I didn't buy him. Is sort of where I'm going to land on all that.
All right. Wow. Well, listen, it's 2023, the year of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and the Batman figures have been delivered. What is next?
I think what we're going to get next is we're going to get a Poison Ivy variant with a Bane figure, like a 2-pack. I bet you
Oh,
because McFarlane does a lot of these 2-packs as well. And I bet you anything we're gonna get a variant with the Otangles,
yeah, yeah,
her
yeah.
triangle buns and a Bane figure because it is pretty weird that we don't have Bane in this, given what an important role he played in this movie.
And he's the only one that isn't there. He's the only one missing from this whole thing, like of important characters. So I don't. Yeah, there's Mr. Freeze. Yeah. So I was messaging you about this, and I was complaining that they would probably put him as a build a figure in a wave that no one cared about.
That's true.
I'm still banking on that. I think they're just gonna
Oh,
it's
they'll
gonna be
throw
like
him in.
a yeah, some Batman repaint and some Joker that's I don't know, scarecrow colors. McFarlane does that kind of bullshit, and then I'll have to buy a bunch of toys I don't want to get Bane.
It's curious to me that this wave. So when I was posting about, I don't really collect these DC figures. I've collected one or two here, especially like the White Knight series, because I love Sean Murphy so much. But it's curious to me that these are called DC Multiverse. Like that's the name of the line. So I agree with you that they could just do whatever assortment they want, like they typically do, and just throw it in. But I would hope they would do a 2-pack with a variant Poison Ivy.
Why do you think we got these versions instead of Batman Forever? Like, why do you think we didn't get Two Face Riddler,
That is
Batman, Robin?
I was thinking that too. I'm curious. What do you think? What do you think first? You go first.
I don't know. My guess would be that there's not enough figures for a whole line, and this was a good way to get like a whole wave, including a build a figure, because we've got
Mm-hmm.
what is it, Batman? Yeah, Batman, Robin, Riddler, Two
Two
Face. That's
Face.
really it,
That's
right?
hard. You could do what were the
The
you could
two
do it
girls with Two
the two
Face.
girls. Yeah, what's the Kardashians just did them. Are they like Sugar and Spice? Is that what
Yeah,
it
I
is?
think that's it.
Something
Maybe
like
those.
that. Drew
Yeah.
Barrymore is one of them. Drew Barrymore is one of them. You could do Nicole Kidman as well, but I don't think Nicole Kidman would be as toyetic as Poison Ivy and Alicia Silverstone as Barbara Wilson. I like to think it's an apology from DC and everyone for giving us such shitty toys that first round. And these are the toys I wish I had back in 1997. I mean, Queen Paw would be screaming at the top of his lungs, and he could scream back then. He had the vocal cords to scream. I This is an apology from DC to all little gay boys out there for when they started censoring out the gay innuendos in the original Batman comics to Joel Schumacher's treatment after this movie and the negative reception it got. This is them apologizing to us, specifically me and you, and that's why we have these figures now.
I like your answer better. I don't know the McFarlane line well enough to know, like, have they done a multiverse Catwoman? Have they already done like a Michelle
I
Pfeiffer?
I don't think so. Let's look really quickly. DC multiverse. The answer is I don't think so. I'm pretty sure they haven't because I would have seen that.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
no,
Fair.
they don't. Batman Returns. No, I don't. Well, you know what? I think they have. I don't know if it's McFarlane though. Yeah, so they have. Oh no, but these are like 3-inch figures.
Oh, no, thank you.
No, I don't think so. No, they haven't
Uh,
done it. This could be a precursor for that though.
yeah. Maybe. I don't know. I could see them putting Bane in a Batman Forever pack so that you get him and you have to buy those because most people would anyway. But I think you're right. I think he'll come at least as a deluxe figure. They're not going to leave him out. But I don't know if he would sell on his own. Like,
Oh, he definitely
Batman.
won't. You're gonna have to pack him with someone else
Yeah, because Mr. Freeze
somehow.
wouldn't sell on his own either.
Yeah,
The only
I
reason
agree.
Yeah. Uh,
You
okay.
know
Oh
what?
wait.
The incentive also, I'm sorry to cut you off. The incentive also is probably that they probably thought that people are going to want the main three plus Poison Ivy, and no one's going to buy Freeze. So do Freeze as a Build-A-Figure. So he ships, and then Bane, they can shoehorn him anywhere else. Sorry, go.
Yeah, no, I think that's 100% what it is. Like I like to think that all companies are incredibly conniving. But they didn't have to give us a build a figure because they're right. I probably wouldn't have bought. I might have bought a Freeze separately, but it was very nice of them to just give him to us as a build a figure. So
I was going to buy all of them, whether he was going to be a Build-A-Figure or not. It's just because I have so much love for this movie. It's probably number two. Yeah, it's probably number two for me as well. Except number one is going to be Dark Knight Rises for me. I know.
interesting. Okay, hold on. Let's do it. Let's put all the Batman movies in order.
Oh, fuck. That's going to be fun. Okay.
All right.
All right. So let's start from the bottom up. And let's start with our number 9, shall we? What's your number 9?
My number 9 is probably the Dark Knight. Which one? This sounds so stupid. They're listed so weird right here. Which one is
What?
the one with Bane?
The one with Bane is The Dark Knight Rises.
That's my least favorite one.
Shut the fuck! Oh my god, our list is gonna be so opposite right now.
Oh
Okay,
no. Okay,
right.
let's
Mine is the
go.
original. Mine is the original Tim Burton Batman. I
Woof.
know it did. It just listen. No shade on Kim or Michael and Jack. I mean, the movie is great, but in terms of my enthusiasm as a kid, and as an adult, it's pretty down there for me.
It's a slow movie. It is a slow movie. The acting is phenomenal, but it is a slow movie.
Yeah, it's no shade. It doesn't mean that it's not good or I don't acknowledge it as good, but it's not like my favorite.
All right. Number 8.
Batman versus Superman.
Batman versus Superman. You
Yeah.
got it. You got it, boyo. It's
and
not
you,
the worst.
and everyone has such a boner for like Zack Snyder now and the Snyder cut, but when Batman versus Superman, when Man of Steel and Justice League, when all of those were, well, not Justice League, but like all of those movies were released, the Snyder ones, everyone hated them. I remember walking out of the theater and everyone being disappointed by it. And although I like Man of Steel quite a bit, I don't, at the time, it was very hard to find someone who really liked Man of Steel the way I did as well.
I liked it, but it just isn't one of the best.
What were your feels on Batman versus Superman when you saw it?
I left the theater happy. I wanted to see Batman punch Superman in the face. That's all I cared about. Like watching the scene where those two fight is so fucking good. And like
Yeah.
everyone got upset about the Martha thing. And I was like, imagine you were fighting with someone and they said your dead mother's name. You'd be like, what, why did you say that? So it makes sense, people. Give it up.
I agree. I think a lot of people rag on that, but I think it was a very humanizing moment. And by the way, to credit to Zack Snyder, I never thought about that. I never thought that both their names were Martha. So you know what? Thank you, Zack Snyder. Okay, number 7.
Mine is Batman Begins.
Oh, mine is Batman Forever. Why is it Begins for you?
You know what? I it should probably be higher because of what it did for Batman in the culture, but it's probably the one I go back and watch the least.
Okay.
It has nothing special to me. I like Bale. I certainly like Bale's portrayal of Batman, but that movie just is a little slow. I don't need another origin.
Yeah, it was. I'm not too far off on the list. It definitely was just setting up. It wasn't poorly done, but it was setting up. And I like the reveal with Ra's al Ghul. That for me was fun. Again, at the time, it was surprising.
These are our favorites list, not what we think are important. Because that would be much higher if I was like doing a list of like what are the most important Batman movies or something.
Mine is Batman Forever. Again, not that I didn't enjoy it. It just I thought it was okay, and that's fine. And I've seen it as an adult, as I mentioned earlier, so it just stays right there. Number 6.
Number 6 for me is the original Batman.
Okay, mine is Batman Begins.
Okay.
Put it there. Why is it number 6 for you?
It just sits in the middle. I liked it. It's a good movie, but it's nothing special. I like Keaton. I like Jack. But yeah, it's just there's better movies.
Yeah, Yeah, I feel
Can't really
like
say
that's
much
fair.
about my middle picks. Like I like
Yeah.
them. I like all of these movies. So
All right. Here we're entering top five territory. Batman. Oh, I'm sorry, top five. I'm giving mine away. Okay. Number five for me is Batman Returns.
okay. Number 5 for me is The Dark Knight for sure.
Really? Number five is a Dark Knight.
It's great movie. Again, great movie, but I just it doesn't have a lot of rewatchability for me because it's pretty messed up, man.
Yeah, I will say
It also makes me sad to watch.
listen, that scene with Rachel and Harvey and Batman gets I mean, it was masterfully done. And Heath Ledger got a lot of flack for being casted. And I remember people was like, "Oh, it's a guy from 10 Things I Hate About You and Knight's Tale." And I'm like, "You know what? He fucking brought it." Number 4 for you.
Number 4 for me is The Batman.
Same, 100%.
Okay.
Same.
I loved it.
Same. I thought it was so good. I think our Pats did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the fact that I have incredible nostalgia for my top 3, it would sit at my number 1.
I think it's objectively good. I think it's a good, balanced Batman movie. Our Pats was wonderful. Zoe Kravitz was wonderful. The story, Colin Farrell as a Penguin. Who would have thought that would have worked out? The chase scene, the car scene on the highway, that was really great. Although I've only seen it once, so that's like
But
my dirty little secret.
I've only seen it once and it's one of my favorites. Like I don't feel like I need to revisit the 3-hour movie because I had such a great experience watching it where I was like, this is beautiful, this is stunning, this is so long, but I don't want to leave. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, and Kurt Cobain like meets Bruce Wayne like vibes. Like I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the score was amazing for that movie.
Oh, the score was so good. All right. Number 3, which is your number 3.
My number 3 is Batman and Robin.
Okay.
I said earlier it was my number 2, but I revoke that.
Okay, mine is Dark Knight for reasons we already explained. And then my number 2 is Batman and Robin.
My number 2 is Batman Forever.
Okay.
I'm upset how low yours was. Can you expand on that just a little bit?
Let's see. So, Batman Forever, it probably has to do with that I don't resonate with the Riddler or Jim Carrey as much as I should.
Wow.
Like both characters I really don't, or actor and character I just am not a fan of. And I never really cared that much about Two-Face, even in the animated series. Like when it would be an episode about Two-Face, I'd be like, oh great. I only started caring about him with Dark Knight as a character.
Okay.
So that's where it's kind of there for me. And I don't know. I think Nicole Kidman did a great job. She looks great visually. I love the set designs and, Chris O'Donnell as Robin. But I just don't think for gay tween Paul, who was obsessed with like Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, Batgirl, there wasn't much for me personally to latch on to.
Okay, but like now older gay Paul, who is like a two-faced lunatic, you must have some sort of you must relate to the characters of Two-Face and the Riddler a little bit more, I would assume.
You shady little bitch. Yeah. I like the Nicole Kidman character a lot, but when she was here, like, I'm gonna keep your secret to Val Kilmer,
Yeah.
I was like, I would not. I would just turn around and tell everyone and be like, oh, guess who Batman is?
I will say Val Kilmer is the sexiest Batman out of all of them. His lips.
Agreed. Oh, he's beautiful. Oh my god, that promo image of him where it's like, he's on set and his beautiful lips and the cow. Oh, he definitely
it's
between him, Keaton, and Clooney. Well, I would gravitate towards Clooney, but I objectively think Kilmer is the more attractive one.
Thank you. That's all I need. I love it because the performances were incredible. Two-Face was so good. I think Carrie also killed it as Riddler. Nicole Kidman, whatever. But that's my number 2. What's your number 2? No, you need a number 2.
Oh, my number 2 is Batman and Robin.
Oh, I thought that was... Where was The Dark Knight Rises for you?
Dark Knight Rises is number 1, bitch. You're so fucking shady. It is the best Batman movie, and I'm saying this objectively, it completes the trilogy. Anne Hathaway gave us such a smart Selena Kyle. So smart. Like when she was there in the beginning and she was here, like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm just like this scared little maid. And she's like, whoops, I'm wearing your mom's pearls. And she's here, like, I would never. And then she kicks his cane. She goes, but sometimes I make exceptions. His fucking hysterical. And I thought it was so epic that that the city's under siege, that all the bridges are blown out and there's a bomb going off. And Hammy, I was in the theater, an adult male. And when Batman is talking to Bane and he's like, you're so arrogant. You thought that because you're the child of Ra's al Ghul, you were able to get out of the pit. And then you hear Talia say, but he's not the child of Ra's al Ghul, and stabs Batman. I gave the loudest, most audible gasp. It was like a cartoon moment with like my popcorn flying up. I love this movie.
You know what? I'm going to give it a rewatch for you with open eyes.
All right. What's your number one?
It's Batman Returns, like any decent queer person.
Why is Batman Returns like your favorite? What do you think it was about that movie that just hit close to home for you?
I watched it probably a little younger than I should have, and it made me feel like I was an adult in a way. Like it felt more mature to me. Because I didn't watch the original Batman until later. Like I think I started with Batman Forever and then Batman and Robin and then watched Batman Returns. And that was such a transition from these fun comic booky colorful movies to me being like, yeah, I'm dark, I'm twisted like these guys. And I think it just stuck with me. And Michelle Pfeiffer did things to me that I think are more important than what Chris O'Donnell did to me. Like the way that woman looked in that suit and the thing she did. And I think that was another part of it. Like it was a big sexual experience for me. And I think Danny DeVito was terrifying. And by the sounds of it, it just aroused a lot of different things, whether it was fear or whatever. And I think it just sticks with me for that reason. And it is probably the most rewatchable movie in terms of quality. Like I would say Batman and Robin is my favorite one to rewatch because I can laugh and joke. But this one, if you could watch it 100 times and every time be like, wow, this is really fucking good.
And I want to pull on the thread of you saying fear because I actually was terrified of Danny DeVito and when he kidnapped all the babies. And I think it's because my mom was pregnant with my brother around the time. So I was terrified that Danny DeVito was going to. But also, I went to Catholic school and we were learning about Passover and how God came to, will come to the land of Egypt and strike down all the firstborn babies. And so I do remember being biblical and terrified watching Danny DeVito snatching those babies. Oh, and then when he dies at the end and like all the penguins come and like take him away. Oh my God. It is a very you hit it when you said it is a very adult movie. And if you're watching it as a kid, there are themes in it that speaks up to you and you can sort of, somehow rectify in your head. But I'm gonna give that one a rewatch in honor of you. How about that?
All right, let's do it. Let's see if it moves. Either of those movies move up in our rankings later.
Okay. Well, speaking of rankings, how would you rank these figures right now? Like, which ones are you most like? Which is the one you're dying to get your hands on, and which is the one that you're just like about?
It definitely goes Poison Ivy, which I don't think maybe people would expect. They'd think Robin. It goes Poison Ivy for me, Robin, probably Freeze, then Batgirl, then Batman.
Damn, Batgirl's that low on your list?
Yeah, I think so.
Mine is definitely going to be Batgirl. It's going to be Poison Ivy. I'm excited for Freeze, and then I'll give it to Robin, and then Batman will be my last one. But those first four, well, Robin and Freeze are just neck to neck. The only reason why I'm going to give it to Freeze is because Arnold Schwarzenegger in that role was very iconic, and I just like the visual toy kineticness of him here. How about that? That's the only reason why.
As a cosplayer, it's one of the most beautiful costumes I've ever seen. Like I've got to see the real one in like a museum, and it's just one of the fucking greatest costumes ever. I want to do something. I want to do something before we go. If anyone made it to the end of this, no one did. But if you did, this is a special treat for you. I want to do a giveaway because
gasp.
I am a psycho who loves these movies so much that one time during an auction, I bought all the original photos. So,
oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Oh my bitch, when you said that you had a surprise, I thought you were just gonna like do a giveaway of a photo of yourself as Robin.
No, like I have the original negatives of like Alicia Silverstone. You can't really see them, but wait, here. Let me. So like the originals all like labeled on the back.
Oh my god. I can't believe you have the originals.
Oh,
I remember this because we were talking about it with Flame.
Stacks and stacks for each character.
Oh my god. Okay. So wait, I'm sorry, what are you giving away? I'm just more mesmerized that you have this.
I know. So here's what I want to do for the giveaway. I've got, because I have all of them, I literally have like Chris O'Donnell as Robin, but the blooper with his little tongue sticking out.
Oh my god, look at his little tongue. That's so cute.
All labeled on the back, all originals. So I have a Chris O'Donnell Robin that I want to give away. I've got an Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy that I would like to give away. You want a little bit more? You want a little taste?
Oh, I love that shot so much. I love. You have no idea. My best friend growing up did her for Halloween, and her abuela did a custom Poison Ivy, and she looked incredible. I will always love that design.
Yeah, no, it's everything. I've got one of my favorite shots of Arnold as Freeze.
Oh my god.
It's just beautiful. And there's no like Photoshop back then, so you can see like where the mascara didn't go all the way up to his eyes. And then I wanted to do something, I wanted to get one of every character. So I've also got the negative of Alicia Silverstone, which you'll never be able to see. So just, you're going to have to trust me that it exists and that I've got it. Let's see.
The internet knows where to find you if you're lying to them. Oh my god, look at that. I want to do this. I want to enter on this.
And then a Batman one too.
Yeah.
So that's what I've got. All originals from the original production. And I think, I don't know how to give them away, but if you made it this far, I say what? Leave a comment on like maybe the YouTube video or
well, you know what? Let's do a post. I think let's give it a fair shot for everyone. We can do a post on Instagram. Just leave a comment on which is your favorite Batman movie.
Brilliant.
Something easy, super easy, right there.
But if you say the Dark Knight Rises, you'll be eliminated from the competition.
Hammy, we have to record an episode next, and our waiting room is starting to stack up.
Oh shit, let's go.
Where can the folks at home find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Hammy73 or michael.ham.cosplay, and you can find me on Patreon at Michael Ham, so patreon.com/michaelham, and be at LA Comic-Con at the end of this month, so come say hi.
Go say hi. We'll be at LA Comic-Con as well. Come to our panel with Lenore Zan and Familia. We will catch you later.